Hi, this is Jim Smith. This is our second episode on the election campaign. Well, that was interesting, wasn't it? I'm wearing black and red today. I'm shooting this the day, the anniversary of the murder of our soldiers on our own soil by cowards who wouldn't face them in combat, man to man. It gives one pause for thought what we're really doing this for. And I think the first thing you have to realize is that there are a lot of people in the political process. They're actually pretty good folks that are doing the best they can to work in what in their lights and their opinion and their beliefs and their background is right. So one thing that really offends the ass off me, pardon the expression, but it does, is people dumping on people personally. I spent some time with Mr. Kerry Diot. That was the candidate I was supporting because Kelly Block, my personal MP, was in pretty good. So I came out to Edmonton to support Kerry, and I'm hoping to get him on one of these videos in the next day or two before he goes off to Ottawa, because he's got an interesting story to tell that I'd rather have him to tell than me. So let's think positively. As I said earlier, I've met Mr. Trudeau briefly in Ottawa, and I was impressed by him as a personable young person. Everybody's young compared to me, so he's not a young man. He's a mature adult in his prime of his life. And the calling of names of him was, to me, every bit as offensive as the calling of names to Mr. Harper or Mr. Mulcair. And, you know, Mr. Diot was telling me that they had Lorraine Harper come out to visit them. And they had some protesters out with just absolutely vulgar and disgusting signs, F this and F that, to protest the arrival of Mrs. Harper. Now, what in the hell's going on in this country that happens? Don't get into that. Please, if you are going to do vile character assassination from people who are just doing the best, or worse, their wives and children, you have no place with the 1,000. You have no place in the gun rights movement. You got no place in the political process at all, as far as I'm concerned. You're just an a-hole, okay? And we don't need those kind of people. We have to stay positive and productive. If you're not positive, people, and you know this yourself, people that have negative personalities that are always down on everything, they see a conspiracy in every corner and whatnot, and they've always got a bitch or a cry and have nothing good to say, they're a plague on the face of the earth. So my message for this episode is, let's keep positive. We'll be keeping positive as we go through it. This is a crisis. No. This is a challenge. Yes. But out of challenges come opportunities, and we have a huge opportunity going forward for the next 4 years. Yeah, we're going to have some hard times, but I'll tell you what, and I want to tell you a little story. Kim Campbell was the biggest disappointment of any prime minister in Canadian history to gun owners. And when we do our episodes on Kim Campbell, you probably won't even, the younger people won't even believe it. You blame a lot of stuff on Alan Rock. It was actually Kim Campbell's fault. And when it came to the election, we're lucky, we genuine conservatives, philosophical conservatives, and us folks that own guns and stuff, we had this Reform Party guys who had popped up, and they'd elected a lady by the name of Deb Gray who really acquitted herself well. And we looked at them and said, you know something? We can do something with them. And of course, they, as an opposition party looking for a foothold, did that go to the gun show thing and stuff like that. I met Kerry Diot, by the way, at a gun show that he attended to find out what this gun problems were all about. And that's pretty unusual. But the Reform really got into it, and they got a lot of gun owners excited about the political process again. So when the election came about, and Kim Campbell called that election on the last day, it almost created a constitutional crisis. And the early polls were quite great, because polls are more popularity contests than they are accurate results. And Kim Campbell had been highly promoted by a group of people who were managing her as the best thing since sliced bread and Pop-Tarts. And it didn't turn out that way. Her support started to collapse. And us guys at the gun club I belonged to then, we were shooting that night. I mean, hey, you guys got to go shooting whenever you gets a chance, right? Then we went over to Wally's Pizza, and we were going to have pizza and a jug of beer, and we're going to watch the results. And of course, by the time we got over there, it was history. Kim Campbell had already gone down to blazing defeat, and other than Elsie Wayne and Jean Charest, there had been no MPs elected. So we, for the Progressive Conservative Party, so we sat there and we watched. They go down in flames, and we were cheering every cabinet minister that failed, everybody that had voted for Kim Campbell's gun confiscation program, and they were basically all of them. And we were cheering and clinking our glasses. And Wally came over and he said, "Hey guys, you're with the gun club, aren't you?" Because we went to Wally's quite a bit after shooting. And he said, yeah. Everybody said, yeah, we're conservatives. "So why are you so happy?" He said, "Well, we had to get rid of Kim Campbell, and this is great." And when, of course, Kim Campbell was announced as being defeated, it was quite giddy. But Wally was so impressed because I looked at him and said, "Wally, you're a liberal. You should be buying us beer tonight." And lo and behold, Wally, who was a notorious cheapskate, brought us over some more beer. Quite amazing. But the lesson of this story is when we went into that, we knew defeating the PCs, we would be in for hard times for a long time. And in fact, I said at the time, and my friends all agreed with me, that we're in for 16 years, 4 elections, because we didn't think the Conservatives and the Reform Party could ever get their act together until people just died of old age, and that would be the end of it. So when it actually only took 12 years to get rid of the Liberals again, and we had to put up with the long gun registry and Alan Rock and turning all gun owners into criminals, which my friend and lawyer, Dr. Wilf Backus, said was the obvious thrust going back to Kim Campbell, that this is the way it was going. So the Liberals and the Conservatives, Progressive Conservatives, are on the same track, going the same trajectory. There's no difference. We were quite happy it only took 12 years. So here's the end of this monologue. This only has to last 4 years. If we get our butts together, we stop bitching and belly aching and drinking our beers in our mother's basement and belly aching online, and get to work, we can make this a 4-year term. It may only be 4 years for the next one too, because it seems to me as we move into the media age, we're going to go through a period of government changes every 4 years. And this is why my message to get involved with all the parties is extremely important. Extremely important. We have to get lines of communication open. And where our alleged leadership has flat-ass failed is they have not got lines of communication open to the Liberal Party, let alone the NDP. And when some of us suggested it to some leaders, we were just told we're out of our effing minds, that they'd never listen to us anyway. Well, of course, if you go into a conversation assuming the other side isn't going to listen to you, they're not going to listen to you, are they? So the 1,000 over the next 4 years is going to give you some memes to use with these people, some tactics to negotiate with them. And above and beyond all, let's keep the guns out of it, and let's keep positive things like property rights and transparency and improved freedom of information, improved civilian control over police forces, particularly the RCMP, things that we can talk about that are vitally important to us that don't have guns in them, because guns to the left are a 4-letter word and we have to work our way around them. Not that we're going to give up, not that we're going to give in, not that we're ever going to forgive these people, and we're never going to forget them, and we're never going to compromise, but we have to be tricky with how we do this, okay? So that's my second episode on the election. Please share if you can, subscribe if you can. Our website is the1000.ca, and there's support information there. And hey, go out and do some shooting. Have some fun. Bye-bye.